I guess speaking of Jose Abreu,
Yeah, this might lead us right into a maybe a controversial asshole of the week. I'm gonna let you run with this because I don't know.
uh,
I'm sure you've got mixed feelings about all of
well,
this.
first of all, I don't think I think everyone's allowed to have an opinion about things and this, put things out there when asked the question. But he is an emotional guy, and his reaction to the question, uh, "What will you miss about Chicago?" was was definitely dramatic as he replied, "It hurts," and that was all he said. And then, they pushed him on the matter, and he got into details, um, which I don't think was really surprising to me in regards to, and I don't know what you thought about this, but when he talked about it, wasn't really like a family last season, and
That's exactly what Jose Abreu said.
yeah, and
It's
um,
kind of surprising. It was kind of surprising he answered any questions about it. He's like, I would think he would come back with, "I'm with the Houston Astros now. There's not really anything to say after that." I don't know what good it did him to say any of those, say anything essentially about his time in Chicago, other than you know now he's in Houston, and that he's gonna do his best to win a championship with them.
right, and that was kind of my thought on the whole thing. It's like he had to get some sort of like, well, and it was a lot of like, some of it was, I wanted to stay, I wanted to end my career with the White Sox, but they disrespected me with whatever this the offer remains undisclosed, right?
Well, and that's what's tough to comment about.
The,
Then, like nobody knows what they were or weren't offering.
yeah,
I have a feeling it came down to just 1 year, maybe a 1 year deal for whatever money. But
that's my thought too.
he ended up with a 3 year deal, I believe, in Houston. I don't
At
remember
20
the
million a
deal.
year, yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty good deal. So he was definitely not disrespected by the Astros. There's no way the White Sox are going to offer that, especially with Andrew Vaughn being the heir apparent at first base and the
Right.
logjam of first baseman, DHs, and everything else you've got happen on that side of the field. So I think you actually said it would be stupid at one point to resign Jose Abreu.
Yeah, and
So
I stick with that, especially at that. I don't I don't, and I could be totally wrong, and I'm not wishing any ill will on him. Just like I didn't never wished ill will on Carlos Rodon or anything,
all right,
but there's certain signings that just don't make sense with the way your team is built, and unless they had moved, like, unless they had moved someone on the team to make room for a DH spot, there was no reason to give Jose Abreu a $60 million contract for 3 years.
well, and it's not like they haven't given him several large contracts. He had two large contracts with the White Sox, did
Right.
he not?
Yeah. This is almost like the Anthony Rizzo situation in a weird way, sort of like
Yeah,
how that
I
whole, like, the Cubs disrespected him, but like the Cubs offer we saw, and the Cubs offer for Anthony Rizzo was fine.
yeah, 5 years, $75 million.
Yes, it was within range for what
Yeah, and
he
he
was
actually took much
producing.
less than that eventually to go with the Yankees. He
Yeah.
may have already made up that same amount of money with an additional contract after that. But yeah, I mean, it's just I never understand why players need to talk about their former teams in the media. I mean, they can bitch about it all they want to their new teammates and family and friends, but it just doesn't do any good.
Yeah.
It doesn't accomplish anything other than creating acrimony with potential acrimony with a fan base that was in love with the guy for so many years. The other side of this that I think leads towards a legitimate asshole of the week is he didn't play the final home game of his White Sox career. He chose not to play for whatever reason, and
He
it
doesn't
was
like goodbyes.
yeah, it just seems like a really immature missed opportunity for, the former MVP, the leader, so-called leader of the White Sox for so many years. We commented it at the time, but when you couple that with these, they're not the worst comments in the world, but you just kind of put it all together. It just leaves a bad taste. It's got to leave bad taste in all White Sox fans' mouths, but it's just kind of unfortunate. It'd be nice to see, a little less anger from Jose Abreu, considering what the Sox gave him, and
Yeah.
now the beautiful life he's living in Houston. So
Yeah, it's not like he ended up in a bad situation. In fact, he
he's
ended
the
up in a
world fucking
really great
champs.
situation.
Yeah.
Um, the other thing too, which is there's a mixed bag on Jose Abreu from White Sox fans because there's a lot of animosity towards the White Sox front office because of the rule because of last season. So
Sure.
it's split. Like some people aren't. We're probably in the minority by calling them asshole of the week, to be honest.
Oh, I think, yeah, I
Yeah,
think probably calling him asshole of the week's harsh, but I mean, we're just a stupid podcast, so we
yeah,
might as well create some controversy. I don't know.
yeah. I mean,
It just sort
it's
of
our
fits within our
prerogative.
categories,
Yeah,
but just adding that together, I think adding all the elements together, I think it's worth doing.
yeah, exactly. And um, the last game things always bothered me. I
That's a
mean,
problem.
it's a problem for the fans.
Yeah,
The
it's
fans
always going
wanted
to
to
be a
see him play
problem.
one last time.
Yeah,
Now
the pro-
I mean, we get to see him play, but he's in a fucking Astros jersey. So
yeah, yeah, it's going to be interesting when the Astros come to town. See how that all works out.
well, I look at it this way. Usually, when a White Sox player returns that left that fans loved, they give him a standing ovation the first time, and then he gets booed the rest
Yeah,
of the time.
I think
So
that'd be appropriate.
I think that's probably how it's going to shake down. So we'll see how that works. But that's all I got on that. So Jose Abreu, you are our asshole of the week.
Word Hole Media.